The organisers of the Paris Olympics, we talked about this a couple of nights ago. They wanted to make the athletes eat less meat to help stop global warming. Well, the athletes jacked up at that, as you know. But global warming extremists, they aren't giving up, I'm afraid. In fact, you are being urged not to just stop eating meat, but to start eating insects instead. Now, 3 weeks ago, the Singapore government actually approved the sale of 16 kinds of insects and spiders to be sold as food. And the left-wing Guardian said, oh, this is great. Eating worms could actually be a sign of things to come to fight global warming. In fact, the powerful World Economic Forum has pushed this too, giving 5 reasons we should eat insects to stop climate change. And Australia's own Agriculture Department, it's licensed the growth and sale as food of 3 insects, the super mealworm, the house cricket, and mealworm beetles. Now, in fact, for $15, you can buy, well, actually it's now sold out. Right, you should have hurried. A pack of crunchy crickets in barbecue seasoning. Joining me is journalist and author Tony Thomas, who's written about this push to eat more bugs for Quadrant Online. Tony, great to see you. What is driving this push to eat insects?
Well, there seems to be a greeny faction in CSIRO that believes that farming isn't sustainable to solve the population's hunger, and it will destroy the environment. So, in addition, they're cranky that livestock creates 18% of global emissions, and nitrogen fertiliser creates 5%. So their idea is that if we can swing farming to insects, there will be not only less land used, but a lot less CO2 emissions coming out.
Well,
and then they can even rewild the farms, yeah.
Well, Tony, you actually write, and this is the bit that freaked me a little. CSIRO, now you and I know it's really fallen hard for the climate scare. So it actually wrote a report recommending we do eat insects, right? And this is a report that slipped by everyone except you, of course. And it's even claimed it could be another big global warming Australian industry, like Chris Bowen claims green hydrogen will, and claims that Aborigines were actually Australia's first agricultural scientists. I mean, there's scientists as well now. Seriously. And they ate insects, which is true. They did eat witchetty grubs. Tony, that many would now want to eat witchetty grubs when there's bread, steaks and potatoes around instead. Is there really a big industry in this insect business?
No, well, the CSIRO is incredibly optimistic. They had this big conference in Brisbane, and they flew in experts from Cambridge University and Mexico and Holland and all over the place. And I must say it was rather funny. The conference was written up by one of the CSIRO guys called Brian Lessard, and he's known as Bry the Fly Guy because he found a new horsefly and he named it after the pop star Beyonce. But unfortunately, the horsefly wasn't edible. But anyway, CSIRO wants Australia to become a sort of a mealworm and cricket superpower with the help of subsidies and taxpayer grants. And this report says, as younger Australians become more worried about climate change, edible insects have the potential to become a secure food source. It even suggests, for example, kangaroo and cricket meat sausages.
All right. Well, I don't know if this is going to take off, frankly, Tony. Any sign that people are really going for it, that it's making huge inroads into our agricultural business as CSIRO fondly hopes?
No, it's complete nonsense. Even the CSIRO says that if everything goes really well with this industry, it'll create a turnover of $10 million a year in 5 years' time. Well, the primary sector's $100 billion a year industry. $10 million is absolutely nothing. But they're very keen on the Aborigines being the vanguard of this industry, and they say that the Aborigines will lend the industry an incredible and compelling distinction.
Well, I don't know. If I served up dinner to friends like Warren Mundine and it was insects instead of a good juicy steak, I think Warren would storm out in a great huff, just sprinkling the Aboriginal pixie dust on it. I don't think it's going to sell it to anyone. But there you go. Tony Thomas, thank you so much for your time.